Well, hello there and welcome to an evening in 10 forward, installment number 89, and the end of Starfleet Academy Season 1, possibly the worst first season of any show that has the audacity to call itself Star Trek. Hello and welcome, Mephisto and Watch Nerd. I hope you are well. Good evening all. Hope you have had a good week. Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. Hello, Taj. It's good to have you here as we delve into this final episode of the show that we've all come to, well, pretty much despise. I will be having Guna pop in a little bit later, but for now you've just got me, and for my own sanity I have prepared some notes for this evening based on some of the things that I didn't get round to in my initial review, and there is a lot to get through in this installment because this episode was full of interesting contradictions, because that's what the show has been so far. It has been nothing but a contradicting, of course, as New Trek quite often does most of original Star Trek, because the creators of this show aren't Star Trek fans and they don't have any knowledge of the source material in the first place, but also contradictory to within its own canon. Mostly the biggest examples have been within the season, but the final episode is contradictions within itself, with only, I don't know, 10 minutes between a contradiction or two. So it's been quite interesting, and the writing process for this show, forget the process for a moment, just putting the process to one side. The vetting process, just the vetting process alone, for a show like this, even magazines, newspapers, websites, they all have editors, they all have people who check the work of the people writing these projects. And I can tell you with some confidence that nobody vetted this season, but definitely no one vetted this final episode, because it is just an absolute mess. Hello, good place, it's good to have you here. Episode 10, YouTube streamer Bad and Crybaby. Bad guy is a streamer. I guess he's built a wall. Yeah, Newsbracker built a wall of mines. Now, we touched a little bit on this in the last installment. I did it in my reviews. The idea of the minefield around Federation space is staggeringly stupid and quite impossible. It's quite impossible to do what this guy did. I suppose if you were to put a Star Trek spin on it, you could perhaps infer that the Q would be capable. They certainly are capable of putting a barrier up around the entire Federation. But Paul Giamatti's character is certainly no Q. And I did watch Dave Cullen's video where and he had AI do the calculations, and it came up with a vastly different number than what we came up with last week. Somewhere in the region of about 570 octillion minds would be needed, even if you were to overpower the minds with, Omega. You're still looking at a super grand number of minds that would be required to create a three-dimensional sphere of destructive power. The figures don't match up. The writing's not been vetted. The concept hasn't been advised from a science standpoint. And Star Trek was always rooted in science. It always checked with the scientific community. It had science advisors to the shows, and we don't have that anymore. What we do have is writers that have never written science fiction in their life, don't understand scale, don't understand physics, even fundamental physics, the basic core physics subjects. They don't understand it. They just like to throw around these scientific terms in a very pseudo fashion. Sounds like they were desperate for the main villain to be more dangerous than any before. Yeah, absolutely. They were always trying to one-up anything that Star Trek did before. Not only have they essentially overpowered the Omega particle, they cannot get their story straight on whether it's a stable particle. They don't understand it, of course, because they've probably read a chat GPT breakdown of the episode The Omega Directive, and there's a lot of questions that arise from this episode as to where the hell the writers were coming from. I think when you're writing an episode of something, you always have to ask yourself questions. It's good practice to ask yourselves questions, to get other people to ask questions, to get experts in to say, okay, so you want to get from point A to point B, how are you going to do it? Well, this will get in your way. How are you going to write your way around that? That would get in the way. How are you going to write yourself around that? And I honestly believe, much in the same way that the Star Trek writers of today, I call them Star Trek in inverted commas, I have a feeling that they definitely don't, this is facts, they definitely don't want anyone who's written or been involved with Star Trek to make Star Trek, because Terry Matalas proved that he can actually do a better job than they can. But more, they don't want scientific advisors worth any kind of salt to be telling them things that are going to make their writing process more difficult. And of course, the more difficult the writing process is, 9 times out of 10, the better the end product's going to be, because it will stand up to a certain level of scrutiny and won't require the audience to suspend their disbelief to such a degree that their brain dribbles out of their ear canal. This episode capped the season off pretty well, in the sense that it closed up a garbled word salad of a season that really does not stand up to a scrutiny of a second viewing. We all know classic Star Trek. We all watch classic Star Trek. We watch the episodes time and time again. They're timeless. You can go back and watch any of the first 5 series of Star Trek and enjoy roughly about 90% of it, and rewatch 90% of it and think, every time you return, you think, well, the love, care and attention to detail that went into making these shows is apparent. It's right there. However, New Trek's got no rewatchability. It's a one and done, and quite often, regretfully, one in the first place, kind of media. And it's really not worth anything. This season of Star Trek is the acolyte of Star Trek. It has failed. It is a failure. The 20 or so fans this show has garnered, and yeah, I know that's not an accurate figure. There are probably more. It's just an example. Those people are not enough to sustain this show. This show is pretty much majority disliked, especially by the Star Trek community. Now, I was asked a question in one of the recent comments on my last video if someone hurt me as a child, because they thought it was wacky and fun. Well, Star Trek certainly had those elements to it, but it was serious science fiction. It made sense. It didn't insult the viewer. It actually educated a great many people. It inspired them by showing science in its truest form, and certainly theoretical science in its truest form, and inspired people to get into STEM fields. Doctors, engineers, scientists, physicists, biologists, chemists, astronauts. It inspired people. It elevated the common individual and inspired them to be greater than what they are. New Trek does not do that. And it never will. That's why it keeps failing. And that's why it pretty much represents the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Those are my opening thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments section. So, to go through a little bit of the chat. Hi guys, it's so nice to have you here, of course. A good place says, I watched episode 10 minutes ago. And among everyone in the show, God Emperor Newsbracker is most sympathetic and comparatively good when compared to everyone else in this show. Paul Giamatti is a good actor. Most likely down to bad directing and even worse writing. Hello, Stephen Bromby. It's good to have you here. Don't forget to leave a comment. I do try and keep up with the chat as we are going along. Without Star Trek, just how much tech would we have today? I would finish that word because I don't like the word tech. I like the word technology. And you're absolutely right. Star Trek inspired so many ideas. As we have a super chat come through from Jamie Ives. Thank you so much, Jamie. That's really, really very thoughtful of you. Completely unnecessary, but thank you so much. Very, very thoughtful. And that's for 4 great British poons. Get yourself a well-deserved drink. Thanks. My friend, much appreciated. Thank you very much. Hello, Guna, who says evening all. Yes, how much technology would we be without? Star Trek has inspired so much, not just in medical science, but in practical science, theoretical science, physics, chemistry, the whole. Just think about engineering. Yeah, how much is inspired the writers of Star Trek, the Michael and Denise Okuda. Hell, they could be technical scientists all the livelong day. They create their vision of the future is something that inspired millions and millions of people to want to be in that future. And I've said many times on this channel before that as a child, and even sometimes, shamefully most of the time, as an adult, I would dream about waking up in that world. With the advancements in medical science, with the advancement of technology, the replicators, the warp drive, force fields, medical science, curing illness, curing disease, going exploring the galaxy. It was aesthetically pleasing. It was a world that inspired you to want to be there. New Trek so far has not achieved that even once. Even once. Sorry, TM Technology, my lazy typing. Do not apologize, my friend. I prefer, for the most part, to use. To try not to use modern vernacular as Star Trek does. I hate it when they do say things like tech. Oh, they stole our tech. They stole our tech, okay? And it's like, yes, but finish the bloody word, will you, please? Stephen Bromby with a £5 super chat. Hail UK DM and chat, celebrating my birthday by felting the current state of my favourite sci-fi franchise. I miss when Star Trek was awesome, i.e. TOS through to Enterprise. It is your birthday today, Mr. Bromby. Well, happy birthday to you, sir. I hope you are enjoying yourself and you're not too mentally scarred from what you've seen over the course of the last 10 weeks. But yes, absolutely smashing. I hope you have a fantastic day, or have had a fantastic day. As you're dealing in British pounds, I assume you must be from the land of the Brits. So yeah, I hope you had a great day. Jamie Ives says, Star Trek and the hope for a better future for all humanity inspires me to try to be a good person. Yes, I mess up and I've had issues with other fans in recent times, but I still try. And I would say, Jamie, that you're going to have issues with other fans. There are fans of TOS that don't like anything afterwards. There are fans of the Next Generation who don't like TOS and anything after the Next Generation. And I think throwing the term around, not real fans, is it's a little bit daft, really, because everybody likes something and not everybody likes everything. And that's understood. But and Star Trek can mean so many different things to so many different people. But what you can't deny is quality, love, care, and attention that went into these shows. And what you can't deny is that in new Trek shows, love, care, quality, and attention to detail are not there. That's why we're mad. It's not necessarily that it's a bad idea, a bad concept. It's the execution. And it's the treatment of the fans. And it's getting political at FedCon and other conventions, and attacking Star Trek fans, saying, oh, they must be Trump supporters. When it does, that's not why we're there. That's not why we watch Star Trek. We watch Star Trek because it's good television. Not recently, of course. But yeah, my friend Jamie, I would say don't even pay any attention. You're a fan, you like Star Trek, there's things you like about Star Trek. Somebody comes along and calls you not a real fan. Well, welcome to my world, mate. I get a lot of negative comments coming through, especially when it comes to Strange New Worlds. A lot of I think Strange New Worlds has sort of bridged a gap between the new and the old Star Trek fans. Not very well. It's not a very sturdy bridge, but I get a lot of negative comments because I don't like Strange New Worlds. Doesn't mean I'm not a Star Trek fan. Words are just words, my friend. Blah, 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 blah. I certainly looked up to Kirk, Spock, and McCoy when I was younger. And why wouldn't you? They were the holy trinity of Star Trek. Were they not? Someone said the Star Trek is a restaurant. We all love to go there, but we don't all like everything on the menu, and that's okay. You get what you like, and you don't worry about what others have. Well, that's very true. Yeah, I would agree with that. You can take what you want from Star Trek, but that's because Star Trek is accessible. It was accessible to people of my age. It was accessible to people of my age 20 years ago, 40 years ago. I started watching Star Trek when I was 5, and it inspired me to be a better person. It never talked down to me. It never treated me like a moron. It did its thing, and I watched it, and I was inspired. It changed my life. It saved my life in a lot of ways, and a lot of people throw that around. Throw that kind of comment around. Star Trek saved my life. Well, for a lot of us it did, because it made us better people. It gave us hope. There is a brighter future out there. Nowadays we don't have that, because the new Trek writers are incapable of actually writing a coherent story. And the Federation, throughout all of older Trek, the Federation was an inspired organization. It was optimistic, bright, utopian. The utopia part of it, well, it would be a long journey to get there, wouldn't it? Excuse me. It would be a long journey to get there, and I'm not sure how we get there, but the fact of the matter is they wrote the show as to say we got there. It's bright and optimistic. New Trek, the Federation is, well, nihilistic, dark, corrupt, and kind of moronic. A lot of people in New Trek shows, a lot of the Federation Starfleet characters are moronic. And as are the concepts. You notice with all the legacy characters, Star Trek Picard Season 1 just made them, well, it just made all of our legacy characters depressed. Look at 7 of 9. Look at what they did to 7 of 9. I'm sorry, but, you know, 7 of 9, if 7 of 9 had seen what was going to happen in Star Trek Picard Season 1, I think she'd have opted to just nick a shuttle and go settle on the planet and say, you know what, screw the Federation, screw it all. But again, it's because New Trek isn't in the hands of people that care about the source material. DM, you have to be aware that back in 1974, when I first saw Star Trek on BBC on a black and white TV, I'd never seen anything like it before. None of us had. None of us had. It was new. It was interesting. The characters were deep, rich characters. Hello, Angels Pierre. How are you, my friend? Yeah, Guna, you get it all the time. Ignore it. Yeah, you just say it. Ignore it. Ignore the negativity that's thrown your way. Ignore the insults and ignore the gaslighting, because gaslighting is a huge problem. Othi, the way the episode ended with those personal photos, would Paramount do the nuclear option and act season 2 tax write-off? It seemed to have been, it was a very odd decision to make that, because the entire episode felt like it was some sort of finale, grand finale. Much in the same way that Discovery did it with, I believe, season 3, because they thought it was going to end. That was BBC 2, by the way. Yes, I remember those. I remember those days. But yeah, the photos at the end. I'll get to that later. But it had that almost Lethal Weapon 4-esque. Like, this is the final one we're doing. Here's everything that we went through to make it. BBC 2 was the home of Star Trek for many decades. Yeah, the BBC's gone downhill, hasn't it? I still remember the excitement that I felt when I first saw TNG for the first time was exciting. Yeah, and look, everyone has used the excuse for the last, crikey, nearly a decade now, that, oh, you just don't like anything new. People didn't like the Next Generation when it first came out, and everyone grew to love it. But people hated it when it first came out. So, yeah, but they didn't keep on hating it. They didn't keep on hating it. Star Trek The Next Generation got better and better and better. And then we got Deep Space Nine. And not everybody liked that when it first came out. Some people still don't like it. Most do, though. And then Voyager came out. And then Enterprise came out. And people, Star Trek fans are very forgiving. They like to give things a chance. And when we're gaslit like that, all it does is it gets people's back up. Let's hope the Act Season 2, the world will be better for it. Yes, it would. I believe it would, although it would help the algorithm raise my channel to new heights. Speaking of which, if you haven't already hit the like button on the stream and you are enjoying it, the like button is right there. Give it a tap if you're enjoying the stream so far. Share it far and wide. Let's see if we can't grow the UK DM community. Same for DS9. Was really excited for more Trek. I was also watching Babylon 5 at the time as well. Yeah, absolutely. I think the 90s was peak sci-fi. I think the 90s gave us a lot of great sci-fi. So, yeah, absolutely brilliant. DS9 had a resurgence with Netflix. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Deep Space Nine was very very well played on Netflix. And we even got What We Left Behind, which I thought was a superb documentary. Fantastic. It's a very binge-worthy show. It is absolutely a very binge-worthy show. Absolutely. Oh, this Academy show. Again, I think a lot of people don't agree with me, but I think it would have worked. I think it would have worked had it been in the right hands. You could have easily done it, and you wouldn't need to make it. You wouldn't need to aim it at teens. Teens would naturally, children would naturally gravitate towards it. I don't think they. I think when they try to, they're guilty of two things for sure. One, targeting a particular audience. You don't want to do that. You want to target Star Trek fans. If you want your show to be successful, you have to target Star Trek fans. Number one. Two, you mix the show concepts and you borrow them from other shows. Oh, this is going to be Harry Potter in space. Oh, this is going to be a mix between this show is going to be like this movie that we're doing is going to be like the Suicide Squad, except Section 31. Doesn't work. You can pay homage to certain concepts. Of course you can. Star Trek episodes from all 5 series, OG Star Trek episodes, had inspiration from other science fiction. But it ultimately remains Star Trek. Academy is Harry Potter in space because they don't believe in science. They claim science is so fucking cool. But they don't use it. They don't use it. It's just magic to them. Biggest problem is the writers treating it as their thing instead of established universe with its own rules. And this show might take the Acolyte spot as the worst sci-fi show. And yeah, I think it's on par, if I'm being perfectly honest. Guna is coming in very shortly, guys. We will get into the meat of this episode very shortly. I don't think they ever got the memo on not attacking the fans. Well, the fans are the customer base, aren't they? Any company that attacks its customers is doomed. And I do mean doomed. Any company that attacks their customers is they're effed. They are completely and utterly screwed the minute they decide to do that. We pay the bills, right? We pay the bills. You know, we keep the franchise going. It was fans that saved Star Trek back in the 70s, and it was fans that brought it back to the screen. It was fans that kept it going. If let's be honest, if they didn't make appealing shows, would the fans have stuck around? I think not. So why would you then say, I'm not going to make a Star Trek show for the fans, I'm going to make it to send a message, as a platform to send a message, and then I'm going to get some talentless twat called Tawny Newsom to start to be able to write this show? She had absolutely no idea what she was doing. I'm going to make it to I'm coming through an echo because Guna has entered the chat. Hello, Guna, my friend. How are you, sir?
Hello, how are you?
Absolutely fantastic.
I apologise for the because I was listening and then I forgot to mute it. Very unprofessional.
It's okay. To be fair, it's not the most unprofessional thing at the minute. The Discord is slowing down like a trooper. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. We will still be. You will still be able to hear us all throughout this this stream. It's just Discord is having a little bit of a day. To be fair, I think YouTube's having a little bit of a day of it lately. I've been having some real problems uploading and getting the live streams going. So yeah, if we do appear jittery or freeze at any time, just keep watching. We're not going anywhere.
Can I just wanted to come in right there because you were talking about how if it wasn't for the fans, there wouldn't be any Star Trek in the first place.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is what really upsets me about how there's so much now. Some of the actors themselves are having a very negative stance towards the true fans. If it weren't for these modern actors, wouldn't even be in these shows if it wasn't for us. It's as simple as that. They wouldn't, because it was the that fan base which was loyal to the original series that brought it back. It would never have come back. It was cancelled. They had no intentions of doing it again. They did have plans for a sequel called Star Trek 2, I believe, but they never went ahead and fulfilled that. And it was then as protestation from all the fans, the true fans there, that banded together. I think they were pretty much worldwide. And can you imagine being able to facilitate such a thing in those days when there was no internet? The only means of communication may have been through, I don't even know if faxes were around then, because we're talking early 70s, mid 70s. So to be able to organise something like that, get together, and then manage to bring the show back, that is all on the fans and no one else.
100%.
So now these modern actors sitting there, turning on these fans saying you're not true Star Trek fans, excuse me, that is probably the biggest insult. I can understand modern fans or youngsters saying that if they're in love with these new shows, because maybe they don't understand or have no idea. But the actors have got no right to say anything. They should stay impartial. They should keep the politics out of it and stay completely impartial. Keep their opinions to themselves. Keep them to their friends or their family and their loved ones. Don't broadcast it and victimize or try and victimize true fans by saying you're not true Star Trek fans. You're racist. You're this. You're that. What are you talking about? But these are the people that gave you guys a job effectively, because a lot of them, I didn't know most of the Voyager actors. I didn't know most of all the New Trek actors. I didn't. They were all first times. A lot of them have got this job and have become household names purely because of Star Trek and purely because as a result of the fans bringing it back. And that sort of upsets me. So sorry, I came in and straight on a rant, but that really upsets me when they have a go at the old generation or all the old school fans. It's not right. It's not right at all. It's not fair, and they should understand the history a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one sec. I'm just trying to get the old Discord to speed up. Just messaged my lad because I think he's online gaming upstairs, so I told him to get the hell off. So I can
Star Trek Phase 2.
Yeah, steal some bandwidth. Yeah, Star Trek Phase 2.
Sorry, not Star Trek 2, but my bad.
Yes, now even Frakes chimed in. Well, yeah, rant away. I think we all feel that. The comments by Frakes shocked me. He forgot that it was the fans that got Gates McFadden back. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and well, again, you know, you look at the likes of Robert Picardo, Tim Ross, and all of these other actors who think their opinions trump all of their, you know, their work. They think they're entitled to tell us how to think. Then, well, they're unfortunately that's just not the case, is it? Othie, he also seemed to ignore Picard season 3 got the best reaction for years. Yeah, he did amongst legacy fans, and that's why Kurtzman hated it, because it wasn't done by him. Kurtzman cannot understand why people dislike this stuff so much. He can't understand it. He doesn't get it.
It's just unbelievable. I don't understand that. So you can't put some absolute nonsense together and expect everyone on this planet to like it, or everyone that claims to be or have been Star Trek fans, and then just accept that, oh, it's Star Trek, it's got to be good. You can't just stick the two words Star Trek on something and it's going to be immediately liked. I think this is what I think also with the people like Kurtzman, the people like Kathleen Kennedy. They have become very complacent, and they probably just thought, oh, anything we push out, a Star Trek, Star Wars, etc., whichever one we look at, it's going to be well loved, well received. And I think that's completely backfired, because it's just not the case at all. You can't just brand something as one of the two and then expect everyone to love it. The same happened with the MCU. After phase 3 of the MCU, same thing happened. They just went downhill, but they were on such a high with it at the time, and it was almost like impenetrable as a movie series. It stole everything, didn't it, in box office? And it was almost like they could do no wrong. And I think it's just this thing about complacency as well. And they've got to get cuter with it. They've got to fix up, and they've got to get rid of so many heads. And I hope to God those end credits did mean goodbye, because it was a bit weird seeing that. And I thought, hopefully that's the end of it.
Well, I'm hoping they'll count it as a tax write-off and just get shot. I am genuinely hoping that, but at the same time, something tells me they've got just enough nihilism to do it. Quite honestly.
You've heard about the rumour as well, haven't you, about the Star Trek Year 1?
Yes, I've heard about the rumours of Star Trek Year 1.
Oh dear.
So, just I want you guys to just very quickly bear with us. I'm going to do a quick Discord reset. We shall be back very, very shortly. Guna, stick around. I'm literally going to try and get this connection thing sorted out, so we at least don't look like we're talking with subtitles, or with dubbing. So yeah, bear with me 2 moments, guys. My voice will still be here, but we should be back very shortly. I'll be honest with you, my PC is not the greatest. It's not the greatest. It's certainly not the newest computer that you're ever going to see. It is dated now, and I really do need to get something a little bit better, because, well, it's seen better days. Let's see if this is any better. No, it's still terrible. So it's not a Discord problem. That is going to be an internet connection problem. So I do apologise for the unprofessional nature of everything that's happening right now in 10 forward. But we are back. So yeah, just ignore our cameras. To be fair, I'm probably going to elongate the. I'm going to partially cover us up anyway, I think, because I think we need to discuss this final episode. We should get there. What do you think, Guna?
Get it done. The sooner the better. We can all relax.
Well,
be at peace. Hopefully be at peace after the brain damage that we've all incurred.
I've come with notes, my friends. So
oh my God, you've done notes?
I've done notes because there's certain things I wanted to cover. I'm sorry?
Are you feeling okay? You've done notes.
Oh, if we're going to do the final episode, we're going to do it with a bang. So
Okay,
let me just make this bigger for people. Okay, guys, let's get into it. All right. I hope everyone can see the non-bastardization of the original Enterprise there. It actually, at least it looks something like the original. So yeah, just to remind everyone, it is 60 years of Star Trek, and you wouldn't believe it with this show. There's no celebrations happening whatsoever. Nothing out of Paramount. Nothing planned. No big event. No nothing. All we got was this unbelievably shitty show. So the episode recaps, and I did hear something. I think it may have been Disparu that said this, so I apologise if I got it wrong, but he made a very good point. You could watch episode 1 and episode 2 and then skip to the finale and you'd have missed nothing.
Great point.
Which is so damned accurate. It's unreal. It recaps. So just to recap for everybody, Nala Arki sent Caleb's mum to a rehabilitation centre and sent Noose Bracca off to prison. But she went to a rehabilitation centre where she would have had visitation rights for her son. Nala was going to make Caleb a ward of the Federation, and because she is a criminal. She was an accomplice in a murder of a Starfleet officer, and she was sentenced to essentially prison light rehabilitation center. And Nala Arki has felt bad for the past 9 episodes. Oh no, she resigned from the Federation. She resigned from Starfleet because she felt so terrible about about the fact that she split her mother from her son, and the son escaped because she's stupid. But she did her job. She was a Federation judge, and she did her job, and she did it well. Hello, Tetrarch of Apathy. I will be watching the chat as well as doing this. So yeah, just keep those comments coming. So it flashes back, yes, to the little trial there, and we flash forward when we left the last episode. Caleb's mother had been found, and they're on the Athena, and she sees Akai. She sees the Chancellor, and she's like really, really angry. And she's saying, "Caleb, we have to get out of here. What are we doing on this Starfleet ship? I don't like the Federation. You guys suck. You guys suck, and I'm going to kill you all because I'm very, 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 very angry." And I heard people saying Tatiana Maslany acted her ass off here. Well, I'm thinking, okay, fine, but she needs something to act with, and the script's got nothing. Absolutely nothing. So she's very, very, very cross right there. It looks like someone's poked her up the rear. And yeah, she's seething with Aki, even though they're in a bit of a tough, pickly spot. Bear with me here. Let's get through this absolute crap. So, right, it's time for the wall. Kame, I remember the BBC having Star Trek Day to celebrate the 30th anniversary. Yes, it did. It had it had an entire Star Trek night. I remember that. It had the documentary, Science of Star Trek, the history of Star Trek. It was brilliant. They did. I don't like the BBC anymore, but they did a great job celebrating Star Trek. There's nothing celebrating Star Trek except for this show so far. So we have the Great Wall, the Great Sphere around Federation space. And I did watch Dave Cullen's video.
Did you see that? I was going to ask you.
I did. I even took some screenshots. So thank you very much, Dave Cullen, for these magnificent. Are we ready for this? So, according to various Star Trek charts and dialogue, notably Star Trek First Contact, Federation space spans approximately 8,000 light years. If we treat the United Federation of Planets as a sphere with a radius of 4,000 light years, the surface area we need to cover is 201 billion 61,930 square light years. Square light years. So, to deploy all the mines, it would take. Hold on. Right. Okay, so bear with me 1 second. To deploy all the mines, it would take decades to gather the raw materials, replicator mass required for trillions of mines, because it is trillions of mines, by the way. Trillions of mines. 500 to 1,000 years it would take. To put the number into perspective, it's 570. Hold on. Okay, so it's 570 octillion mines.
Oh dear. The thing is,
octillion, and to put that in perspective, there are roughly 7.5 times 10 to the 18th grains of sand on all the beaches and deserts of Earth. You would need the sand of 76 billion Earths to equal the number of mines in your Federation shell.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
I mean, it's beyond belief.
And can I just interject very quickly? Dave Cullen, I don't know how long he took to work this out, but it can't have been long, right? Because he's already got the video out and the show's not been out.
ChatGPT, mate. Yeah, use ChatGPT.
Oh, right. So not long. Now these guys, these writers, and the whole production staff get 10 million for an episode.
Mm-hmm.
They can't figure this out.
No.
They can't. Well, they don't want to figure this out because it messes up their plans of whatever they've written, isn't it? I guess. But it is unthinkable that I mean, it's such a stupid thing. And he made a really good point. I'm sorry to steal your thunder, but one good point he really made as well. He said that even if it was possible over centuries, surely the first ones that have been laid are going to be decaying and they're not going to be probably working anymore. So the whole thing falls apart even before it starts because it's maybe 500 years old. It's just so stupid.
There'll be other things that we'll get into with these mines. We're going to talk stability a little bit later. Because, well, we'll get there. Hello, Marrow Botter, who says, hello, gents, joining late for the season finale. I'll be missing your reviews, not the show. Thank goodness Strange New Worlds is coming up, so your reviews will too. Then go back to mouth-watering Starfleet Academy Season 2. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to Strange New Worlds, to be perfectly honest with you. I get more grief from Strange New Worlds than I have Academy, because Academy is just arguably so terrible. Planet X87, hello, friends. Hello, how are you, my friend? It's good to have you here. I'm betting that the haters to Lover's story between Mother and Akai in Season 2 somehow. Oh, God, we'll get there as well. Yeah, so according to Thokadar, she says that that Bracca's got 100 mines encompassing the Federation. Space is vast, you know. Each mine has the blast radius of 80,000 square light years. 80,000 square light years. That's more powerful than Omega has ever been. Now, they said, oh, it's Omega 47, so it's going to be more powerful. 80,000. Now, the Federation has what, a distance of 8,000 light years across. It's 8,000 light years across. They're all controlled by a single subspace signal, like a lattice, across. Again, they have no idea how space travel works. They have no idea how communications work. They just don't get it. Signals in space, red signals in space. 7 red signals have been detected across the galaxy. How would you know? Because you can't scan the whole galaxy. You cannot scan Federation space. You can't do it. It's too big. Even in the 31st century, whenever they are, they seem to be able to just scan anywhere. You're talking about a minefield that's, Jesus Christ, it's so vast. And what about some fucking poor ship that doesn't even know the mine's there? Just happens to cross it and suddenly wipes out the entire Federation. Apparently 160 billion people would die. But correct me if I'm wrong, Guna. As silly as the Voyager episode Omega Directive was, Omega doesn't destroy space. It destroys subspace. It's not a classic explosive. It's a particle, yes, but when it explodes, it doesn't necessarily destroy space. It destroys subspace and the ability to go to warp speed. Although there is a shockwave, it doesn't devastate space.
Which means it's not going to kill planets, essentially.
Exactly. Now, it may damage some planets. It may cause gravitational instabilities, sure. But it's not a nuclear bomb.
No.
It's not a nuclear bomb.
Oh, please. It's just so...
It's absolutely crazy. Anyway. The minefield is just ridiculous. Nothing outside of a queue is going to be able to do that.
No, exactly. Well, I was just going to say, you were saying about even in the 32nd century they won't be able to scan. Well, I'm not sure about this particular whatever universe this is in. I'm hoping it's some kind of abnormal parallel universe that we're watching. That's a bit of a joke, but they can't even put. They still have to wheel their luggage around on little wheelies. So I'm not quite sure. I don't have much credibility for their technology anyway. Let alone be able to scan the entire flipping quadrant or two. I'm not quite sure.
These writers have no idea what space is. No idea. The Femhadar clearly was on some sort of comedy gig tour because, I mean, she's just come back for a few scenes in the episode. Nothing particularly special going on there. I still can't believe it's a big wall. Neither can Nala RK there. She can't believe it either. She's going, my God, that's a big wall. It is just ultimately stupid. It is so bad. I mean, these are systems. These are star systems, for God's sake. Tens of light years apart in some respects, thousands of light years apart in others. It's just beyond freaking belief. So yeah, sorry, mate.
The combined power. Say if all the aliens we had met in our as viewers, watching all the iterations of Star Trek, there's been a fair few. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, obviously there's the most popular ones, but we know that over the various iterations, over all the different episodes, there's even a combined effort, an alliance between all of them together would not be able to put this together. Apart from yes, Q, different, but no one else would be able to do this. Not physically be able to do this. It's not possible. And this guy's done it in weeks, months. Well, it's just beyond. It's just beyond all rationale.
Well, that ChatGPT thing that Dave Cullen did said it would take 10,000 starships, 500 to 1,000 years to lay this minefield.
There you go. Well then, come on.
Fucking yeah, go on, get on with it. Let's get it done.
Jeez.
Unbelievable. So yeah, the stakes are laid out. It's universe ending, of course, because it's stupid, and it's New Trek, which is just stupid. And they said, oh, you know, we've got 2 minutes of communication, and that's all we can spare because reasons. And they end up having a good old conversation about Caleb's mum, and Caleb's mum is having absolutely none of it. And oh my God, I went through and deleted a lot of these stills from my review. I went through the folder and deleted them. I only got 500 this time round, and it already feels like too much. So Robert Picardo's doctor, he says, oh no, the venereal disease is back, and they're attacking us, and oh no, what we're going to do? There's 6 of them. We've got 6 STDs around, 6 discoveries, and they're surrounding us. Oh no, they're going to attack us, and they've still got a plasma leak like they did in the last episode, and it's not shut it down. It's not cordoned it off, so everything's going terribly wrong. They're being chased through the nebula, and oh no, they're under attack. And their shields are at 80%. You even have a loading bar that tells you what the shields are at. And I gotta say, of most of the stupidity that I have seen, or the visual stupidity that I've seen, has been the stations, all the computer stations, because they literally tell you in plain English what is going on. You remember the LCARS display? I use it in my opening. The LCARS display, you couldn't make head and tails of it, but you know those characters could. You knew exactly what they knew what they were doing. This seems to and this is why I say they talk down to you, not only through the dialogue, the shitty dialogue, but they also talk down to you through visual aids as well. So the ship's getting attacked, and we're all hoping that they just get completely obliterated. The kids are sent down because in the last episode, 2 of the cadets hid out on the ship by increasing the air pressure inside a corridor to mask their life signs. Okay. And at some point, Genesis, the girl boss, Captain Wannabe, she says to Caleb that you're gonna waste oxygen. You keep talking, you're gonna waste oxygen. It's like, but they're increasing the air pressure, not decreasing it, darling. You're not gonna suffocate. You just need to sit still because there's a chance you may get a little bit of the bends. But you can breathe pretty normally. It's just going to be a bit more high pressure. And if the other cadets could do it, why can't they? What was the point of that entire sequence? I know it's to hide the kids away, But the Athena gets absolutely battered. Not that anyone cares, because it looks like a piece of shit to begin with. ORNTNZ is in the chat, dropping down a super chat. Thank you very much. Just dropping by to say live long and prosper. The reason that social media morons who think crying is genius defend this show is because it was written for them. I couldn't agree more, mate. I could not agree more.
100% for them.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So thank you very much for that super chat. Very, very generous of you all tonight. Thank you so much. Yeah, fantastic. So the Athena, yeah, it's oh look, it's telling you exactly what's going on. This is important. This is important. I'll zoom in for you. There you go. That says, warning, shields offline. The shields are down. They are offline. They work no more. They have gone to meet their maker. They do not work. And that's important a little bit later on. In comes Paulus Giamartius, yeah? Titanus Braca has returned, he's back, and he's sitting in the captain's chair, and he comes out with a quip. Oh, we all knew that I would end up sitting in this chair, yada, 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 yada. This is going to be painful to get through, I know it is. I want to add as well that at one point, Caleb's mum says to Akai, that if anything happens to Caleb, she'll kill her. Ake responds with, "You'll be doing me a favour." It's like, what the fucking hell do you mean should be doing you? What? Why do you feel so guilty? You were a judge and you did your job. You fucking twat. Unfucking real. Oh yeah, you'd be doing me a favour if you killed me because I feel so bad about everything that happened. Like, yeah, she was responsible. She was a freaking accomplice of Newsbracker, and she's responsible for the death of a fucking Starfleet officer.
But put that statement in context of what's happening. You'd say something like that when you're trying to defend and maybe save billions of lives. Apparently, billions of lives are at stake, and you come up with that. Oh, well, kill me anyway. Don't matter.
You'd be doing me a favour.
Oh my god! I mean, this is ridiculous. So, it's all about feelings again, though, dear.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's going back to feelings. It's not about the situation that they're in. That let's be professional just for once in this Poxy show. Let's be professional for 5 seconds. No. Let's still discuss our feelings because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, horrendous. So Giamarti comes up with a quippy joke. Seeing Aki and Caleb's mum together on the same bridge, goes, what's this? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And then he says, what are we, enemies in law? Oh, it's funny, I made a joke. Why doesn't everybody laugh? Write that down, because I might not fucking, because that might, somebody write that down. It's like, who the hell wrote this? Xell is in the chat, everyone, and he's coming out with a £10 super chat. Xell, you absolute legend, you. Xell says, I just got home, switched on the TV, and a horrifying image of Paul Giamatti greets me on the screen. I do apologise. Let's swiftly move on. Oh no, there he is again. Thank you, Xell, for that super chat. Much appreciated. It's good to have you here, my friend. God. We got to the end. we got to the end. That's all I can say. So yeah, Giamatti's grand plan. He is going to take away. He's going to steal it. Look, hey, that right there. That right there. Sorry to pause. That was my face. That was my expression. This entire episode. It was that. That was pretty much my expression through watching this entire episode. And I'd like to think I'm a hell of a lot more attractive than Tignataro, but hey ho.
I'm thankful I've got my thing on mute because I'm just sitting here laughing.
Sorry. Right.
It's brilliant. That was great. It's great.
So he's going to whisk away the captain and Caleb's mother because he needs to borrow them for something he's got planned. The warp drive is going to explode apparently, and he says, I'm not falling for that one. And then Jet Reno goes, hello, you've been firing everything you've got at this ship, of course it's going to explode. And I said in my review, and to be fair, I stick by this, because actually Jet Reno in this was, I think, probably the best thing in the episode, and that's saying something. She was actually showing some signs of being a freaking adult. Don't get me wrong, she was still unmistakably Jet Reno, but I think she was probably the best thing about this episode. And that's saying something.
Yeah, agreed.
Because the scenes where she was on the bridge, don't get me wrong, I thought the teachable moment stuff I thought was a bit ridiculous at the time, but I've had some time to sit with it. And I think, yeah, it's not actually that bad. And the way that it was written was not actually that bad. It's like a guest writer came in and said, actually, I'll write this scene for you. And it wasn't too bad, but it did go to shit after that anyway. My God, he's not even kidnapped them yet. Let's get this to a point. Right, yes. So Newsbracker F's off with the Chancellor and Caleb's mummy, and the Doctor reveals where he's been hiding his mobile emitter all these years, and there it is. That's his mobile emitter from Voyager. It's 1,000 years old. Well, I'd venture it's probably a lot older than that, because it did come from the future, and God knows how long it was around before then. So it's certainly been around, this mobile emitter. And he's going to download himself into the computer, because they know they're about to be destroyed. So they place the emitter on the programmable matter, and it just disappears into the console because reasons. Because they need it to happen. And it's ridiculous. It's so stupid. I hate this show so very much. Down goes the Doctor. He goes into the computer. That's important. That's again very important scene there. The shield's offline. The ships start firing on the Athena, and it gets destroyed. Boom. And
that was my favourite trait of the whole season.
Absolutely fantastic. I thought, and that's where it ends. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. Except it's a fake out. They bugger off. They don't scan anywhere. They don't do anything. They have a venereal disease. They don't scan anywhere. They just bugger off. All right, we've destroyed it. Off we go. And that's our title credit sequence, is the ship in pieces. Like, oh, we'll psych them out. We'll play games with them. It'll be like the ultimate fake out. And yeah, the title sequence sort of goes by, and it's like the entire sort of presentation of the show changes. You think he would have gotten a new mobile emitter, considering it was from the 29th century and they are past that point. Yeah, just get an updated one. Or one that's slightly newer. It's only a few hundred years old. Ridiculous. Anyway, And then it turns out, oh no, the destruction was just a hologram. It was just a hologram. Look, and there's the teleplay by Alex Kurtzman and Christian Bayer, or Kirsten Bayer. God, what utter jokes. So yeah, it turns out it was all a hologram because they used the navigational deflector to project a hologram of the ship being destroyed. Then the cadets come up to the bridge. They say, what the hell's going on? And Jet Reno says, luckily, the doctor was able to go into the computer and project himself through the main navigational deflector to make it appear as if the ship has been destroyed. Thankfully, the shields held.
There were no shields.
Thankfully, the shields were gone. So the writers of this episode wrote this scene of them projecting the destruction of the Athena saucer, while simultaneously forgetting that, 2 pages prior, the shields were gone. And then they say the shields managed to hold. They can't keep continuity with their own fucking episode. If the shields were down, yeah, how were they not destroyed for real? Complete, yeah, again, my point. Angels Pierre. It makes no sense.
Yeah. He's got hollow shields now, that's why. Or Picardo.
It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. So the doctor comes back spouting some nonsense like he's was it the DS9 episode Babel where they got sensory aphasia and they started talking complete nonsense. So he's got like a holographic version of that, and he starts spouting this absolute nonsense because it's all garbled. And he talks about not crossing the Rubicon or the Rubicon or whatever it is, or the Rubion. And it turns out that's vital to the story later.
It's a blackcurrant drink, isn't it? Rubicon.
Rubicon, yeah. Oh, I love Rubicon. Especially like the what's the other flavour? Rubicon. It's like an orange flavour. I can't remember. Mango. Spot. Yeah. Nice. Gorgeous drink. Brilliant.
Yeah.
The Klingon here is in literal heat. Oh, shit, sorry. He's in literal heat. We get a lot of Genesis Girl Boss in this episode. A few teachable moments from Tig Notaro. And again, they weren't the worst thing about the episode. They were actually quite good. The way the Doctor speaks in that moment has to be the way Kurtzman thinks. Yeah, you're not wrong there, my friend. So yeah, they've got to figure out a way to get through, or to shut down the minefield, and they've got problems. And Tig Notaro's going, well, you do this, and what's the answer here? And then we get, I hated this moment. They got the cringiest moment in I believe all the show, where all 4 of these cadet wankers say "Aye, Captain" or "Aye, Commander." And one of them says captain and gets it. And she goes, I'm a commander, not a captain. And it's like, all at the same freaking time.
Yeah.
I was literally like Q when Janeway suggested he spends time with his son. I literally went, ew! It was awful. Anyway, the venereal disease, they've got their tractors and grapples onto the Athena, their school section of the Athena, and Akai's there. And did you get the moment where Braca said to Jet Reno, "I don't like you"? It's like speaking for like a true fan. There are moments where he was almost based.
Yeah, he don't like her. He likes the other two. He don't like her. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm just kind of cross-referencing with my notes. Caleb says, I thought Starfleet doesn't leave anyone behind. It's like, do you not remember a few episodes ago, the Vulcans quoting Spock, "The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one"? I mean, it was bad enough it was quoted by someone that came out of a New Trek mouth, but Starfleet will not risk the lives of 1,000 people to save one. Just won't do it. They never do that. So why on earth? What is this? A pseudo federation.
Mm.
At one point, the I won't be unkind. The freaking Betazoid girl, Tiramisu, whatever her name is, she says trillions of lives are at stake. Trillions. But I thought it was like 160 billion lives are at stake. Not trillions. I think, I would have probably bought it if they said cajillions. Cajillions of lives are at stake, man. That's like at least 100,000 trillion. Oh, this was such a weird moment. Such a weird moment. Right, so they're on the Athena school now, which has been vandalized. Okay, so Newsbracker has gone in with some spray paint and vandalized the school, which I think is ridiculous. It's
so stupid. They got graffiti on the walls, for goodness' sake.
They got fires burning in the background on a starship. What the hell?
Unbelievable.
So Captain Dentures, she's making her way over to Kayla's mother, and she's whispering, "Caleb's alive, Caleb's alive. I gave them an order." She says, "Hug me now, hug me now." And his mum is going, "Personal space? This is weird. Why is she hugging me?" And she's saying, "Caleb's alive, Caleb's alive. You've got to trust me, Caleb's alive, blah, blah, blah. Who cares?" And it's this really sort of, will you get off me kind of moment. Even I'm just saying, just get away from me. This is creepy. And Braca comes in and says, "Hey, I'm going to put you on trial. I'm going to put the Federation on trial. You're going to be representing the Federation, and Caleb's mum is going to represent everybody else." And it brings in all these species to view. All these holograms on the top level are all the species outside of the Federation. Going to pass judgment on the Federation.
I wonder where they got that idea from. Oh, could it be Encounter at Farpoint? I wonder.
No idea what you're talking about. There's never been a court. There's never been a court quite like this one in the history of Star Trek. They're the first ones to do it, didn't you know?
Of course they are. Damn, how dare I say that?
You silly person, you. Anyway, so they televised it. Okay, so it is on the Vanali Roll News Network. "32nd century, everybody. The Vanali Roll News Network. It's got like a fucking banner The Federation is compromised. Leaders and civilians alike are trying to flee Federation space, signaling Federation weakness. Well, they can't flee Federation space, can they? How they can't do it? Not even Discovery can jump because it might set off the fucking mines.
Thank God, because I thought we were going to get a cameo from them. Thank God.
Yep.
One thing they did do right in this episode.
I mean, no one could. Doesn't matter. It's stupid. It's like trying. It's honestly the most stupid thing I've ever fucking seen. Fuck this show. So yes, the Federation is going to go on trial. Newsbracker is going to make a grand spectacle of everything. And there's a lot. It's a very shitty dialogue heavy episode. This, and I won't go through exactly everything that is said, all right, because it's a lot to remember and none of it makes sense. I do have my notes though. The Federation is on trial. Newsbracker hosts the trial of the century aboard the Athena, a gaudy treasure of the pompous Federation. Yeah, I mean, yeah, all right. That seems perfectly balanced, about as balanced as the BBC, I think. Hell, right.
I was going to say, it looks like the BBC News little sort of ticker tape roll, doesn't it? It does.
Yeah. Right. So, hold on. What's that say? Federation oppression has been. Oh, sorry. A Federation oppression has been cut off from the rest of the quadrant as Venari Ral heroes block Starfleet occupation. I don't even know anymore. I mean, Newsbracker's got a problem with the Federation because they threw him in jail and he blames the Federation for his family being wiped out. And yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit because that's equally as fucking dumb.
Can I just pop in and just say, these aliens, it's supposed to be such a significant event, right?
Yeah.
In the history of the Federation, apparently. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe because I'm not been paying attention. I don't know who the hell these aliens are. I know nothing about them.
Nope.
We've just been told who they are. No, there's nothing about them. All right, we know about him. We know about a tic-tac-toe head, but we don't know about anything else about these venereal disease things that you call them. Nothing. And no. At least with the Borg, I mean, that was one of the most formidable enemies that the Federation had ever come as. Did it so well. We started learning slowly. They had limited information. They didn't know who they were dealing with, but slowly they started ascertaining who they were, and it was explained to the viewers through the classy means, not the way these guys do it by, putting on drawing what do you call it, notifications in kids writing to say, oh, this is this and this is this, like that stupid Sam episode. Yeah. It was done with class. How we learned what we knew or learned anything about the Borg, but at least we knew something so we can relate to what's happening. I have no idea who these aliens are. I don't know nothing about them. It doesn't make any sense. None of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a little bit of background as to him and as to why he apparently hates Federation, but that's it. That's just him. We don't know about these guys. Why are they helping him? Why would they have any affinity to him? It doesn't make any sense.
Nope. Why would they all be projected there? Who are they? Are they leaders of their respective worlds? Are they representatives? He's trying to basically start his own cartel outside the Federation. So he's gathered all these people. I mean, there's fucking loads of them, for fuck's sake. Anyway, he says that whatever Caleb's mother, we'll call her Twatiana Maslany then. Whatever Caleb's mother says, if guilty or not guilty, they're going to be the outcome. All right. Venara leader Newsbrucker hailed as hero as he holds the Federation on trial for crimes against the galaxy. So, according to him, the Federation massacred his mining colony with his family on. Because reasons. He leaves out certain details we'll get to in a little while, but that's why he hates the Federation. It's stupid. So he basically says whatever this woman says, guilty or not guilty, is going to be, it's going to be the verdict. So, Paul Giamatti's character, Newsbrucker, Anus Wanker, he says that he was on his planet was a mining colony. He had a mining colony, and they saw Federation ships giving supplies to neighboring colonies, and saw it happening regularly. And they didn't give any supplies to them. Federation didn't give any supplies to Newsbracker's colony. So they got all jealousy-wellousy. And his dad took a pot shot at one of the shuttles. And then Paul Giamatti's character wonders why the Federation fired on him. But the Federation didn't fire on him. And we'll get into that a little bit later. I did mention it in my review. But if you didn't think this show could get more retarded, then you're in for a bit of a shock. In fact, you're in for a lot of a shock, because it only gets better. So back on the space toilet, and they've got to try and figure out a way to interfere with Newsbracker's signal to the fucking mines. The incomprehensibly ridiculous mines. And they're moving along at very slow speed, like 1/4 impulse, and then the ship's pilot, the guy who's piloting Darum, I think his name is, the Smurf, the space Smurf, he decides to go a bit quicker, and for some reason there's some gravimetric disturbances, and there's literal fireworks going off on the bridge. And I don't know whether you heard this, Guna. I don't know whether any of you guys in the chat heard this, but they were actual firework noises.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah. They're fucking fireworks.
10 million per episode.
10 million per episode, that was it.
Mm.
Yeah. So they're all falling about going, oh no! And Betazoid girl, she says, I want a word with you in my private room. My private room of cauliflower and broccoli and plant life. We'll get to that bit shortly. I think Reno's going down to engineering. That's right. Reno's going down to engineering, and she puts it what she calls life, because you can't be asked to say Genesis. She puts her in charge, and she gets to play captain. How apt!
God.
Hello, Matt Ross of Yelling at Gaseous Anomalies podcast. How are you, my friend? It's good to have you in the chat, sir. As always. Can this show be erased somehow? I think if they Batgirled it and then Willowed it, yeah, I think it can be erased. And you've had a good amount of quite mature drama to this point. And then they can't just make a drama. They have to get some levity in there. And you get this big moment of grand gravitas, and then at the end of it, she says, "I really need to go pee." I mean,
I think that's funny. That's the biggest joke.
I just can't with this show, man. So, all right. The trial. Naughty Federation judgy for putting Newsbracker in prison for attempting to hijack a supply shuttle and ending up killing a Federation officer, a pilot. Interrupted only by Caleb going, "I can't help anyone. I'm shit at everything." It's like you have been written as the super fucking genius, the Gary Stu of the entire show. You fucking twat. And Jet Reno gives him a pep talk and says, "You're really good. You know you're really good. Stop being a dickhead." And he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm really good. I can help people." And then we go back to the trial. And this is where I have a big problem. Little Miss Fuck-Faced entitled Twat Tiana Mislani. She basically says, "You put me in prison. You separated me from my son. How dare you? How very dare you? I'm entitled to free stuff because I had a hard life. And what was I supposed to do when you put me in prison? Sit there in a cell?" Yes, love. That's precisely what you were supposed to do. Because it's in prison. It's a rehabilitation centre, so it wouldn't exactly be the worst place you could go. But she puts you in prison, hence you go to prison. You don't get out until they say you can get out. That's what prison is.
It's a reason for it.
So that's, yes, you would be expected to sit there in a cell, metaphorically speaking. The entitlement on display here is absolutely astronomical. So, okay, he's standing there listening to all that crap, and she's going, "Wow, poor me, why did you do that to me and my son?" And all the while I'm thinking, you fucking what? You really get an idea of where the writers are coming from in this show, because they're just writing themselves in their opinions. It's just unreal. Absolutely unreal. So they've got basically them back on the Athena, and they've got to figure out a way to find Caleb's mother and find Bracker, and B, tap into this field that is this signal for the Omega Mines to try and get them to shut down or make them inoperable. So Beta Z girl, after Genesis, by the way, goes down because the Klingon tells her that Sam is moody, and she abandons the bridge, leaves Darum, I believe, in charge, and goes and gives her friend a fucking pep talk in the middle of a fucking crisis. When really, it's feels so out of place. It's literally Sam going, "Look, I know I used to be really fucking thick, but now I'm not, and you just I'm going to moan about the dynamics of our friendship before I got changed and became something of a normal character by New Trek standards. Literally, that's all it is. I'm better now. Why did you treat me that way? I used to just follow you around. Meanwhile, Robert Picardo is having a senile moment, and I'm not exactly sure it's the character that's doing it at this point, considering Robert Picardo's social media posts. And Genesis is like, I never treated you that way. You're still my bestie friend in the whole wide world. And the Klingons, all sensitive and laughing and smiling, and isn't it cute because they've got their own secret language and they can understand each other. It's like, no, she made up a language. And Genesis learnt it, and then they speak it, and they understand each other. It's other people that don't understand it. And then the Klingon goes, but what if the Doctor is saying things and it is in a different language, but he means what he says, and it could be the answer to everything. So if it wasn't stupid before, here's where it gets even dumber. Now, we know from Star Trek Voyager that Omega, to create a stable Omega particle, takes tremendous amount of resources, work, and energy. The Borg managed to stabilize a single molecule of Omega for 1/1000th of a second before it destabilized, destroying a cube and about 2 light years of space. That is Omega. It is unstable, and if it destabilizes for a nanosecond, game over. So the cadets need to stabilize Omega in the mines. In each of the mines. Their plan is to stabilize Omega, therefore eliminating the threat.
And this all against the clock, by the way.
All against the clock. And to do that, they need to do something with rubions and gluons. So they need to introduce gluons into the Omega in the mines, and it will stabilize the Omega so it becomes useless as an explosive. But it's not. My brain's hurting. So an algorithm's going to do that, by the way. A freaking Jesus Christ. So what the Doctor's defragmenting? Yeah, that was actually said. The Doctor's defragmenting his hard drive, which is, I think, is euphemism. And the Doctor had the answer to the problem. Stabilizing Omega. The holographic Doctor went into the ship's computer, and he now has the answer for stabilizing Omega. It's so fucking stupid. This show is so stupid. It's just fucking. I've had enough of it. I'm so glad it's over because it's written by complete fucking retards.
It's convenience, mate. Convenience to make more out of the heroes. That's all it is.
Yeah. And so they need to introduce gluons, to the Omega particles in each
I
mine.
was searching for my Super Glue 3. They said that.
Super Glue 3. They need to glue the Omega together in each of the mines. How are they going to do that with a signal, man? How are the mines going to... Do the mines have the technology to produce gluons? I mean, how are you going to do that? Oh yeah.
How do you normally disarm a mind, DM? In the army, they have to physically go and do things to it.
Yeah.
In the norm, right? They have to physically touch, be tactile with the damn thing while risking their lives on each and every single one of them. And there's apparently, well, there's supposed to be trillions of these things. It doesn't matter. Good old Sam can do it.
Well, yeah, good old Sam can do it. Now, the thing is, Guna, of course, let me shove a hypothetical out there. You've got a beach. We'll call it Normandy Beach. It's mined from stretch to stretch, and the mines contain within them an explosive. That explosive will become inert with magic substance A. Now, the plan, Guna, is to disarm all the mines. The British forces have to send a radio signal that disarms all the mines with magical substance A. How do they get it there? How do they get it? How do they do it? It's magic. It doesn't matter that you have to physically introduce a substance to basically nullify the explosive component. You can do it with a signal. Because the mines can clearly just make gluons. How was this achieved? It wasn't, because it was written by a twat. I mean, this is just unreal. So Sam, Super Sam, Sam the best Sam I am, decodes her father's gibberish, which, to be fair, Robert Picardo was literally just reciting his Twitter feed. And Reno's like well impressed. She's like, "Oh yeah, look, we've got a plan now. We can disarm the mines with magic, but we still need the signal. We still need to find where Bracker is. How are we going to do that? I tell you what, we need the batshit Beta Z. So batshit Beta Z takes Caleb to her special place. And batshit Beta Z is saying, I am dangerous. And Caleb goes, no, you're not. People are telling you you're dangerous. You're not dangerous. You can do this. You got this. I hate that fucking phrase. You got this. I hate that phrase. So overused and so shit. Anyway, she's going to find where they are by tapping into Caleb's head and finding the connection with the whales that they had in the second episode, I think, and then Ergo finding his mum because of the teddy bear or some stupid reason, and that's how they're going to locate her. And we get some wibbly wobbly, timey wimey kind of I would say interstellar wormhole spatial effects. I think they probably much borrowed that from Interstellar, because they're not that clever. They just like to borrow straight from things, of course. It looks awful. It doesn't look awful. It just looks borrowed. It doesn't look like it belongs. She manages to find them. She knows where they are, and they've got a plan now. It's a plan that makes absolutely zero sense because they show stupid, and well, it expects you to be stupid. And I just want to pause on that still right there of Jet Reno. There you go. I get some great stills from this show. Some fantastic stills. That is amazing. That is drunk rock to Jet Reno. That is. Fucking hell. Jesus.
Good one.
So they have a plan. They warp into saucer's got warp engines on it. It's stupid. They warp into a gas giant because reasons. Because they've got to stay hidden from Bracker's forces. And now we go back to the trial. God, I'm so sorry. I'm boring myself with this. Now we go back to the trial. And Holly Hunter's Chancellor Dentures, she, like I said in my review, makes an incredibly good point. She asks the question, did you know anything about the officer that you killed? Whilst you were going on this tirade and this rant telling me how much of a terrible person I am for putting you in prison. Have you ever thought about this officer? The officer that didn't go home to his family, the officer that was nearly done with his tour, the officer that you were responsible for his death. Did you know him? His name was this, he was from here. You broke the law and you went to prison. That's how the world works. But in the same breath, she regrets it. So much so she resigned her commission, and it haunts her. It haunts her every day what she did. So, I'm sorry. I don't know about you, Gunnar, but I'm a very much dog-eat-dog world kind of guy. I'm very much if you know, personal responsibility moment. If you break the law, and prison is your sentence, and it's a just sentence for what you've done, which, by the way, accessory to murder. Yeah, I'd say that's severe enough.
It's complicit. It's complicit.
Yeah, complicit. And thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Complicit. And you think the judge gives a crap? It's sentencing. No. It's the law. She broke the law. She went to prison. But this Chancellor Dentures, she's been wrestling with it and feeling terrible about it. For how long? An entire season?
She aligns it, I think, to her loss of her son, because she didn't save him, did she?
Yeah.
And I think this is where I think they're trying to drive it from, because almost Caleb's become a surrogate son to her, and she feels responsible to him, a bit like The Last of Us, when Joel took on the role of fatherhood of Ellie, I guess, after losing Sarah, in that kind of manner, I guess, in a weird way. But what I'm trying to say, the point I wanted to make, dear, is this: if this is the way she is, if this is the way they portrayed her to be, she's a very experienced woman. She's 500 years old or whatever it is. I don't know how many centuries she's got in her. If you remember how Guinan used to be, how wise she was, just from her years and years and years of experience. Now, this woman's got that kind of age and knowledge and wisdom, apparently. Can I just say, with that kind of way of feeling of guilt overriding you and literally tearing you apart, that you resign and then you go back because there's a chance to redeem yourself by, taking over the reins of looking after this kid, I don't think anyone would make you captain.
No.
You can't be captain, because as a captain, we've seen it on so many True Trek episodes, they have to make an informed and responsible decision at times, which could lead or mean the sacrifice of others. It's possible, because they have to look at the majority for starters. If you remember, even Picard in that episode Lessons, he didn't allow himself to continue his relationship, although he fell in love, because he knew that he'd be put into a very difficult position. So it's that kind of thinking that I might have to do something that could lead to a tragic event. Now, she is apparently a captain and a judge and whatever else, and gone quite high up the ranks. This kind of thing should not be affecting her. If it is, how the hell did she make captain in the first place? So it's just so ridiculous, the whole scenario, the whole concept of it is.
Well, she feels so bad. Yeah, and it's like the I'm sorry, mate, but I still don't buy this entire character plot. I don't buy it. She feels so guilty for following the letter of the law and separating Tatiana Maslany from Caleb.
No, I agree with you. I agree with that.
That she's so distraught over it, but then she counters in this trial with, did you know that? It's why I said in my review, she's got absolutely no loyalty to that officer who died whatsoever.
Correct.
It'd be a case of, no, you are responsible for that man's death. You went away, and I feel bad for your son who has to have you as a mother.
Mm.
That's where I would be coming from.
Mm.
And she goes, oh, I felt so terrible for putting you away in prison. And for everything that happened, I feel sorry for
you. Yeah, but what about the other bit when She-Hulk says, "Well, I would have. What, you wanted me to sit there? Of course, I'm going to try and escape. You'd do the same." She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah. Hang on, you're supposed to be applying the law here,
yeah.
And you're admitting to everyone, probably millions of people listening. Oh yeah, I would have tried to escape too. How is she captain? This is the point I'm making."
Well, sorry, she also said, didn't she also say, you after what happened, you resigned. Why didn't you resign before?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's right.
What the fucking hell does that mean? Why didn't you resign before? Why didn't you resign before? What? I'm sorry. Was she supposed to see it coming? And if she had resigned beforehand, then someone else would have come along and given, I don't know, the exact same fucking judgment because you're responsible for the death of a fucking Starfleet officer. You fucking idiot. What kind of... The fucking writers of this show deserve never to be able to put a pen to paper again. Jesus Christ, they shouldn't be trusted with a shopping list. Fucking hell. Moving the hell on. That was a big gulp of tea. So, Tatiana Maslany has said that that guy is guilty. She's guilty. And I hate you. I hate you for everything you've done. I despise you. Yada, yada, yada. And Brekka's going, oh, yes. The Federation's guilty. Guilty. It's full guilty. Yes, you've made the right decision because the Federation are naughty, naughty, naughty people. And Sam's busy trying to MacGuffin some kind of resolution to the stupid Omega problem, and Caleb decides to visit the courtroom because they're just nearby, and he goes, actually, I've been having a right good time at Starfleet Academy. Everybody who's been watching me have a right good time has had a terrible time, but I have had a right good time. Honestly, Mum, they're not bad people. I quite like them. To be fair, they gave me a home. They gave me laughs. I haven't laughed this hard in a long, long time. I've become 100% less of a dickhead. I don't bite anyone anymore, so they don't need to muzzle me like they did in the first fucking episode. And I've got a great bunch of friends, some of which are gay, some of which wear skirts, some of which are supposed to be something resembling Klingons. And I've got a holographic friend that can light up the walls, but not when she really needs to. And she went off and spent 17 years with another holographic legend of a character that's currently speaking gobbledygook, but we won't talk about that too much. I've made a lot of decent friends, and I've actually seen a Femhadar Klingon fall in love with Tignataro. It was bizarre as hell. We had a special visitor from another show called Sylvia Goddamn Bastard Tilly, and that was fun because she taught us all about theatre. You know what, Mum? I'm actually having a good time here. And his mum's like, oh, I'm so unimpressed, but I'm kind of getting teary now because you actually have grown up. The Federation, it's almost like as if the Federation has given you a home. and some stability and a good life and 3 squares a day. Oh, hang on a minute. That actually sounds pretty good for my son. And flips on a fucking dime. And Chancellor Dentures says to Anus Bracker, when your colony was attacked, the substance you were mining, the stratium or whatever it's called, what does that burn? What colour does that burn, Caleb? And he says red. It burns red. Just like the red skies burned on the day that he lost his family. Because
there's that colour again.
There's that colour again, red colour. And his dad shot at a Federation starship, so they responded in kind. Don't wipe out civilians. But it was the stratium that burned the sky and burned the colony. And they determined that in a court of law because Federation weapons usually burn blue or green. They don't burn red. And that's how she manages to convince all of those other worlds that Starfleet and the Federation are indeed not the problem.
Yep, that was it. And they all started flashing out.
They all started leaving, and Anus Bracker plays the typical trope of the bad guy. Right, that's it. I'm going down. You're all going down with me. And just in the nick of time, Sam manages to convert all 507 octillion mines and adds an extra glue onto each of them and makes it completely useless because it's made Omega stable. The Doctor managed to figure out what the Borg never could. The entire Borg collective could not figure this stuff out. The Doctor managed it.
And remember how many millions of species the Borg are made up of.
Yep.
Oh, it was strontium, that thing
Strontium.
that they were talking about. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
God knows why I remember that.
So just in the nick of time, Sam saves the day, and his minds are now inert. And, yeah, it's not good, because the Federation toilet ships seats arrive and start warping in, surrounding everywhere, because the wall is down. The Great Wall has fallen, everyone, guys, come on. And all of these god-awful, ugly ass looking ships start warping in. I mean, you got the Discovery one over in the bottom right corner. You've got one that looks like I don't know, a woman's razor, and then you've got one that looks like it was printed in a 3D printer by someone who likes geometry a little bit too much. Then you've got Admiral freaking Vance Oded Fair. I really, really wish he wasn't in this, because he's such a good actor. Everyone's happy, and even the Klingon's happy. It looks like he's getting something inappropriate done to him there. They've saved the day. It's all great. Woohoo! Jet Reno's happy. She's actually smiling, and it looked quite scary. And yeah, and Newsbracker looks like he's having something done to him as well there, to be honest with you. There's some great stills here. And the Federation beam in, and Caleb's mum has had a complete change of heart. It flips on a dime and decides to punch Giamatti in the face. He says, you call that a punch, as he spits out a tooth. And then Akai comes up and smacks him as well and says, get him out of here. You're going to prison for the rest of your existence. And we're going to take every one of those mines and use it to play golf with. I don't know. So the toilet seat is reunited with the rest of the ship, and there we see the Intrepid Triangle Voyager variant new ship that looks like crap. The Starfleet ships in this show and in Discovery, the future Starfleet ships look like absolute dross. They are so bland, it's literally like someone looked at kitchen utensils and thought, that'll make a good starship. And the USS Toilet Seat flies off into the distance with the Voyager and all of the other... God, uninspired. Look at, I mean, come on. You'll see this very shortly, Guna, but come on, guys. What the fucking hell is that thing?
It's awful,
it looks
isn't
like a freaking double massager.
It's... Oh, the samurai
Look
hats.
at it. Look at these.
Yeah.
What the? That ship looks like a fucking crab. It looks like a fucking crab. I mean, what the hell is that thing? Who drew that and thought that belongs in Star Trek? The USS Crustacean. These ugly ass bastard ships.
It looks like a crab. You're right. Look at the pincers.
Unfortunately, the crustacean class vessel cannot move forwards or backwards. It can only go sideways.
Sideways.
Fuck her. What the hell? I mean, you look at the designs of classic starships. You know, even as back as early as the original series, thought, care, and attention was put in to everything. The ships were sleek, beautiful looking. They were designed with purpose. They looked like they could actually exist. That is just disgusting.
It's not just looks like they could exist. They were based on science, DM.
Yeah, they were based. Of course, they were based on science principles.
Engineering.
Yeah, engineering principles.
Engineering. Yes.
I mean, good Lord. You had the Runabout, you had the Defiance, you had the freaking Odyssey class. Well, you have the Odyssey class, you have the Sovereign class, Galaxy class, Nebula class, Akira class, Ambassador class, Constitution class.
Nebula, I love that one.
Oh, the Nebula class was beautiful.
It was lovely.
It was such a simple kit bash as well. It was brilliant.
Oh, it was one of my favourite ships, I think. I loved it.
You know, and you had the Intrepid class, you had the Miranda class, you had the Oberth class, you had the... I mean, the list goes on, it's endless. These copy-paste ships. I mean, they got 3 of these double massager-looking ships. You got something that looks like it's out of Star Wars in the centre here. It actually looks like one of the Rebel Alliance ships. You've got an Intrepid class in which they did no detail. They're so bland. These ships are so bland. They literally drew geometric freaking shapes. Yes, thank you, Tetrarch. Ambassador class, Steam Runner class. Like I said, Akira class.
Oh, Xell.
I'm not saying that out loud.
No, you can't.
That's a good one, though.
That is a good one. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that is a very that's
It's perfect.
That's STI. That is. I mean, I'm sorry, but Not only are the stories bland, the ships look stupid.
That has got to be one of the
with all the designs of classic Star Trek and all the different variations you could get in classic Star Trek, these ships looked beautiful. They looked well proportioned, well designed. They were just an absolute pleasure to look at. Now, don't get me wrong, the Jaeger class, I think, is a little bit of an ugly ship. It's like a Marquis Raider crossed with Voyager. It looks awful. It's probably one of the ugliest kit bashes. But I would still take 100 of those over any ship pictured here, including the USS freaking Crab.
I feel sorry for the people that back in the day spent time, effort, energy, and thought in creating these ships. They must have worked long and hard in designing them, and they were probably so proud to see them on the screen when they eventually made it there. And if any of those people are still alive today, and if they look at this, it's almost an insult to them. It really is. It's a kick in the teeth that. Look what we created, and look what this. Oh, it's so bad. It's such. This, as I said earlier, this in an earlier one show that we did. This show is nothing but insulting to everyone, really.
It is. It is. That is quite literally the worst collection of shapes I have ever seen. No imagination whatsoever. So Chancellor Dentures and Caleb having a conversation, and she fucking waves. She waves over at his mum, and his mum sort of waves back a little bit. It's almost like all is forgiven. Why? Why all of a sudden? Why do these characters flip on a dime? Everyone flips on a dime. Nothing's predictable. There's no character development. And I don't care what any fucking idiot comments and says. Oh, but there is character development. These characters moved. Oh, these social media bots and all that. They can all F off. There's no character development in this show. There's no character work done in this show. Anyway, she says Caleb can stay at Academy if he wants. I'm thinking, well, he's in his 20s. Maybe it's up to him, not you anyway. And there's the Femhadar and the jettiest of Renos, together. There's Sam and Dad. Sam and Dad being all Sam and Daddy, and there they are, all getting together and happy smiles. Look, everyone's happy, and they're staring out at the window. Woohoo! We saved the day. And then, oh look, we've got more USS freaking toilet seats, and I mean, come on, guys, everybody in the chat, let's pay tribute, shall we? We have the ship. Remember the ship from season 5 of the Discovery, right there in the corner. That was what was his name? I can't remember his name. It was the based dude in season 5 of the Discovery. That was his ship, and it looks awful. That just looks awful. Then we have the USS Doorstop, and they all have detachable nacelles. What the hell is it with detachable nacelles? And look, there's another one. There's the USS Doorstop number 2. Of course, we've got the Athena toilet seat, bag of crap. We got anything? It kind of looks like that might be one of the. Remember the Ship and Beyond? What class was that? I forget what class that was. And not that it really matters. And then we have the Starfleet Academy graduating class of 3196. Jesus. And then the episode's over. And then this is what we were talking about earlier. We get photos of the cast. And this is where it really gets confusing, because it reads it looks like the character bios. Okay, so starring Holly Hunter, and this is very much like this was Academy, and this is what it is. Are we not sure whether we're back for another season? But it's got the character's bio there, Nala Ake, starring Holly Hunter, and it's almost like college pictures. So I would have thought that they'd settle on some form of presentation here. What are they going for? Are they going for the character bios, or are they going for the actor picture? If they're doing that, why would they have the character bio next to it? That was very confusing. Got even more confused. There you got Caleb Meir. And it got even more confusing when that was Jaden Cragg. So it is the actors when they were younger, which is fair enough. But why have the character bios next to it? It makes no sense. It's like a mixed format, and it's really confusing as to what they're trying to present here. And it goes through all of the actors and actresses. Series acclamation BXA. BXA? I'm sorry, what? I thought her name was Series Acclamation Mill. BXA. Oh, you know what?
Sounds like a bike. BMX.
SAR, Series Acclamation BXA. So her name's Sab now. Oh, I just give up. I fucking give up. Yeah, I don't think this will survive the upcoming merger. I'll be surprised if it survives, yeah.
I really am hoping this is a farewell. I really am hoping it is.
Yeah. Darren Ramey.
I really do.
Darren Ramey. Yeah, he was the Smurf. Genesis Lythe. Oh, so she was... Oh my god. I can't believe I didn't pick up on that before. I feel so stupid. That's what Reno was calling her life. But I thought she was just saying it was shorter for Genesis because Genesis is life. But they actually put Genesis. They put life in her name. If you say it commonly enough, it's Genesis fucking life. I fucking hate these people.
Are you really going to go through each and every one, dear?
Genesis life. There aren't that many more, mate.
Oh, thank God.
Tiramisu. Mary Sue. Young Oded Fair. Charles Vance. Laura Thock. Jeannie Ashiri. The Athena's Computer. Okay. Digital Dean of Students. Stephen Colbert. Great. And I'm sorry, but that's Tignataro.
It's a bit like Tom Cruise.
Oh, what the hell? Oh, God. Young Robert Picardo as well. There you go. And Anisha Mir, Tatiana Mislani. Bless her, with the big Dorothy glasses. And there's Paul Giamatti with his tongue out. So he was always a bit of a nut job. And this is the guy we have to thank. I'm surprised he didn't put a picture of himself younger in there as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Alex
Very
Kurtzman. But that's the guy we have to thank. That's the name we have to thank for this utter pile of crap. Utter pile of utter crap.
Oh, it's over. It's over.
That's the season done. The first season. Now, we all knew it would be bad. What would you say, Gunnar? I want your opinion on this. Would you say it's as bad or worse than you were expecting it to be?
Honestly,
Yes, please.
I'm not. No surprises at all for me. None. The way Disco and Strange New Worlds went, I'm just not surprised. I couldn't stand Lower Decks either, mainly because Tawny Twat. Nothing surprised me. The only thing that did surprise me was I found Prodigy enjoyable out in the new Trekverse. But apart from that, not surprised. I mean, I thought it would be more about a little bit of exploration, where they're going on trips to test them or to train them, maybe in controlled environments because they weren't ready yet. But I thought we might see that. We might see a little bit more
education.
Yeah, and even learning about some new species. Maybe we've learned about nothing. We've learned about no one. Even we've met new aliens, we've learned nothing about them. Nothing. This is what I was saying earlier. It doesn't make any sense at all. That was the whole point of Star Trek as well. It was to seek out new life and new civilizations. Was it not? But no, we were more interested in seeing that meadow of flowers where I thought they'd break out into the Sound of Music, Caleb and flipping Batzoid. That's all that's the only thing we saw.
That shit bait, is it?
Jesus. I mean, honestly, so no, I had no expectations, to answer your question. How about yourself?
I think it was actually worse than I was expecting.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
So I'm trying to think back to when I saw those initial trailers and I went through them with Xell. I'm trying to think back. And I thought it would be kind of woke, which is by the by. I'm just gonna deactivate my camera here, just so we're not jittering about here. That might help the stream a little bit.
I'll do the same.
So yeah, I was expecting it to be slightly woke, as probably just as woke as the rest of New Trek anyway. And before anyone who is new here says that Star Trek's always been woke, it hasn't always been woke in terms of the classical term woke. It's been progressive, and it's tried new things and had new ideas and has had social commentary, but it handled it differently. Jim Herman, welcome, and Daniel Hall, welcome. Seeing some new faces here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are enjoying the stream so far, and hit the like button. That really helps it to sort of go places, helps the algorithm and everything. So yeah, hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream so far. Yeah, sorry, Gunnar, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was just kind of thinking myself that I feel a bit angry, and I've betrayed Star Trek in my own way, because for me, I feel like we've done New Trek a disservice a little bit, because I would rather spend, and I'm not suggesting at all for a second that you shouldn't have done this. I think it's good that you've done it, because I think people need to be made aware. The channel has done very well from it as well, not just with this, but more so with your reviews. But sometimes I feel the way we talk about this in such depth and detail, we're kind of missing the good stuff. And I wish maybe we could do a few episodes or a few streams on some classic or original, not when I say original streams, I mean OG Trek, like you have done in the past. I'm not saying you haven't. You have covered a vast amount in the past, but it would be nice to go back to that because, to be honest, that's just so much more enjoyable. It's so much more enlightening. Whether it gets the views or not, I don't know, but at least we'll have it, a lot of fun and genuine kind of love and empathy towards an episode that we all love. I mean, I don't know why, but I was just thinking of Darmok. I love that episode the other day. You know, the next gen. There's such a good message in there, such a fundamentally good message in there, and it was just so well done. You know, both the main actors, Patrick Stewart and the late, I've forgotten his name now. He was in, what was his name? Oh God,
Paul Winslow.
That's it. Yeah. Something like that. He was in Star Trek 2, wasn't he, as well?
He was also the detective in Terminator.
That's it, him. Yeah, he was fantastic as Darmok. And I you know, it's just things like that. You know, that deserves much more time, and I think it just does what we have fallen in love with a lot more. I don't know. It's a little bit done with a bit more honor and class, and they're talking about this stuff is just unbelievable. But look, as I said, I'm not suggesting for a second that of course you should have done it, and I'm glad you've done it. And I've had such a laugh as well listening to you. I have had myself on mute pretty much the whole streams. I've been in fits of laughter because it is so stupid. It is so stupid. But again, I just want to say thank you for having me on. And I think I've been on for pretty much all 10 episodes to some degree, and I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this. Means a lot.
Oh, you're very, very welcome, my friend. It's been nice to have you on. And Xell has left a super chat for $4.99. Thank you so much, Xell. It certainly looks worse than we initially feared when we reviewed the trailer. One episode was all I can manage. My friend, you know, at the risk of Guna's sanity, I managed to save yours. So consider yourself lucky, Xell. It would have absolutely destroyed you, my friend. You and Watch Nerd, I wanted to spare you with that at the very least. So thank you so much for your support, Xell. Continued support, and we must catch up. I keep meaning to catch up with you, my friend. It's I certainly miss you. Amaro Botta as well, $30, mate. You're a legend around these parts. You goddamn legend. Contribution for UKDM from yesterday's episode on: when you buy a new toilet seat, you also have a Starship model. Who knew? Excuse me. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. I never had much sanity to begin with. Thank you so much to all of you for the support over the last 10 weeks and your continued support of the channel. It has been an incredible journey so far, and I've got to think about what's next. I want to get more of those classic Star Trek reviews done. It would take a great amount of effort, and everyone who's subscribed to me to watch these videos to get them to go anywhere, they are not popular with the algorithm, but they are a lot of fun to make. So far, I have made the Visitor, the Inner Light, In the Pale Moonlight, and Duet. I haven't released the Visitor because it is essentially just a re-edit, but I do have more that I want to do on that front. And classic Star Trek, you're absolutely right, is more positive than this show. And in some ways, I feel that this channel was built off the back of New Trek and making people aware of just how bad it was. And I didn't initially have a voice in this. When I watched the first season of Discovery, I was very much on that skeptical front, but I was hoping that it would go somewhere and lead somewhere. And I was essentially giving it a chance. You know, I was giving it a go. And I was very accommodating to it in its first season. I didn't like it, but then I thought, well, it may grow on me. I don't know. So I gave it the fairest chance I could. And when Star Trek Picard came along, season 1, from that very first trailer, I thought, now this looks much better. How fucking wrong was I? It just looks. The trailer sold it, but it fell flat on its face, of course, because it was Star Trek Picard. And then I decided to start doing this channel and making people aware of what I felt when it came to Star Trek. Now, I didn't always get things right. You know, I do have a bit of a poor memory now and then, and it does fail me. But the passion's there. I absolutely adore Star Trek. It is my favourite media franchise. I absolutely adore it. I've spent many years of my life, many dollars that I earn on researching, reading through, drawing, painting, model building, production designing, all sorts of Star Trek related stuff over the years. And I've spent a lot of money doing it because I love Star Trek. We all love Star Trek. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. And I think Alex Kurtzman needs a wake-up call. And he may very well get one soon. Because he doesn't love Star Trek. He doesn't even like Star Trek. He sees Star Trek as a tool. Something to be exploited. And that's a surefire way to alienate your entire customer base. Stephen Bromby says, just a thought, UKDM. Maybe a review for All Mankind, perhaps. My friend, I'm well ahead of you on that one. For All Mankind shall be reviewed. I may even go and do a weekly video, proper reviews on it, and try and bring in a bit of a bit of For All Mankind audience as well. I think that'll be really good, and I'd like to talk about it in the live streams as well. So yeah, I will be reviewing season 5 of For All Mankind. You raise a great point about extorting the positives of all the classic series. Another channel who streamed with Trekkers for years but was a normie is now reviewing TOS 2 episodes per show. Yeah, it's still, the thing is, a lot of the older stuff still carries weight. UKD, have you seen by any chance Disparu's brain floating in a nearby Reaver? I think he may be done. The Acolyte couldn't break him. Starfleet Academy may have just done that. Disparu, Disparu has been an absolute highlight for me during the Starfleet Academy episodes. His reviews, I have to say, are light years better than mine. He is an incredibly funny guy, and he's entertaining, but he's right about a lot of things. And I admire Disparu. I really like him. And I'd love to have a chat with the guy. I really would. He's absolutely brilliant. What a legend. So yeah, so I've become a bit of a Disparu fan over the last 10 weeks with his Discovery, with his Starfleet Academy reviews. But I haven't seen his brain floating anywhere. To be fair, as far as I know, I think he managed to put a cork into his ear and stop it from dribbling out his ear. So that was at least a positive on that front. But no, the custodians of Star Trek, current ones, they not only don't know what they have, they don't care what they have. What they have is not. It's not important to them. They don't hold it as precious. They hold it as a tool, nothing more than a Swiss Army knife that they don't know how to use. And Star Trek will stay alive for many years to come within the fan base. The Kurtzman era of Star Trek will be, I believe, kept in the basement and out of sight, out of mind, in a lot of people's living rooms, a lot of people's media collections, a lot of people's memories, because it has been so substandard. that even the best that they had to offer was only the best compared to the worst. Alex Kurtzman has destroyed a franchise. Well, he's not destroyed it. What he has actually done is he has attempted to denigrate what has come before. But I don't think he can do that as long as we hold it in our hearts and in our minds and bookend everything up to 2005. Everything after that doesn't exist. Gooner, you wally, thank you so much for that super chat, my friend. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on completing the first season and having me on the shows. You're always welcome, Gooner. Always welcome. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. You have no idea.
You're more than welcome. The pleasure's, honestly, the honour's mine, and thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you have, my friend. I'm glad you have, and thank you for putting yourself through that for the show. It's been a pleasure to have you on every single time.
More than welcome.
Spot on. Meanwhile, our beloved Shatner is still racing horses at 95 and one throwing off, shattering his shoulder. So now he needs surgery. He said he tried to tuck and roll, but he's not young anymore. The guy is a legend. Say what you want about Shatner. I don't give a crap. That guy is a living legend and will remain so. The guy is a legend.
True icon. He's a true icon, DM.
He is a poster child for red meat and beer all your life.
Yeah, he is. DM, before we carry on, I think I'll slip away now if that's okay, and let you finish off.
Yeah.
So again, I just want to say thank you to you for allowing me to be part of this for the last 10 weeks. Thank you to all the chat. That everyone has made me feel so welcome as always. And again, in the Discord is something I had no real experience with. I didn't know what it was about, didn't know how to use it, but I've been on there, and people have been so kind, and it's just been amazing. Yeah, I'm just so glad to be part of this. So it means a lot. It means the world to me. So thank you so much, and I'll let you finish off this one, and be in touch very soon.
I can't wait, my friend. You look after yourself, and thank you so much for being part of my community. One of those human beings you are that I'm so happy to have met and have you in my life, my friend. So
Likewise.
Thank you. Thank you for enriching it, my friend. You look after yourself, and I will.
Yeah, you too.
I will talk to you very soon.
Very soon. Bye, chat. Bye, everyone.
Take care, Gunnar.
Bye-bye.
So then there was one. I'm going to go for roughly about another half hour, and this is a chance for you guys in the chat to ask your questions, to anything you want to ask. You go ahead. Being as though this is the last stream covering Starfleet Academy directly. Question for UK DM: who's worse? Oh my God, Kathleen Kennedy or Alex Kurtzman? I also put J.J. Abrams among the franchise destructors, but not as bad as these two goats. So that's a really good question, Mauro, to be fair. Well, I mean, thinking about it, Kathleen Kennedy, she kind of inherited the Star Wars franchise from George Lucas, and she's talentless. She's a talentless hack. Alex Kurtzman is a talentless hack. Kathleen Kennedy wanted to use Star Wars to push a social political agenda. Alex Kurtzman wanted to use Star Trek as a platform to push a social political agenda. Kathleen Kennedy is massively resentful and hates the Star Wars franchise in general because she didn't make it. Alex Kurtzman dislikes the Star Trek franchise to the degree that he won't hire anyone who has actually worked on Star Trek because they actually make better Star Trek than he does. They're very, very similar, aren't they? They're both egotistical narcissists. They've both destroyed franchises. It's really hard to figure out which is worse. I suppose the only way to answer it is subjectively through which is your preferred franchise, Star Wars or Star Trek. Personally, I'm feeling a sense of loss on both of them. Star Trek to a greater degree, Star Wars to a lesser degree. I enjoy Star Wars growing up. I didn't buy a single toy or action figure. I wasn't that kind of fan of it, but I certainly enjoyed the movies. And when the prequel trilogy came out, I was both elated and disappointed, just like most other people, because it was quote unquote not as good as the original trilogy. And then when the sequel trilogy happened, I think that's when I died inside, especially with The Last Jedi. I walked out of the cinema wondering what the hell I'd just seen. And the one afterwards, well, that just nailed the coffin shut, didn't it? Good thing Kennedy got booted out. Kurtzman is next. I'm not sure. It depends how much the current owners view his projects as a failure. Depends what metrics they're using. Let me put my camera back on. It might be a bit more stable now. Or I might just be jittery, like a jittery fool. It's by the by. I would like to think that Kurtzman is on his way out. And I would like to think that Skydance know enough to put Star Trek away for a bit. But I don't know whether that's going to happen yet. Guna mentioned earlier year one. They've pitched the show and they said it's out of their hands. I think that it's not going to happen. Thinking about it, just thinking out loud for a second, it's not going to happen. Because if it was going to happen, he'd have gotten a green light the minute he pitched it. I don't think it's going to happen. Because their only, you could say that their only winning formula has been Strange New Worlds. That's their only winning formula, Strange New Worlds. Just going to disappear off Discord for a moment. I'm still in the stream, still in the chat. I just want to try something. Yeah, Strange New Worlds has been the winning formula. It hasn't been amazing. It hasn't been incredible. But it has been the most successful. That's a super stretched and zoomed in version of me. Sorry, I'm just adjusting here. There we go. It's actually me. Not time delayed either. So. So yeah, the Strangest of Strange New Worlds has been the most successful Kurtzman project thus far. However, is that enough to get a show off the back of it? I don't know. Yeah, extreme close up, almost did the Wayne and Garth. You know, good thing Kennedy got booted out. Kurtzman is next. I've read that one. explains the bots they employ to rate the show higher than it should. Yeah, and again, you're only going to fail if you're only going to waste money and fail if you are if you're fudging the numbers. It serves no purpose. You're trying to. This show isn't that popular. I've got nearly 2,500 subscribers, and I've had 250 views, which I'm extremely grateful for. That's not what I'm saying. I'm extremely grateful for those views, but the show isn't that popular. Now, I could buy a bot farm and artificially inflate the numbers, but they're not true numbers. This is true numbers. Because my show's as popular as it is. You get where I'm going with this. You artificially inflate your streaming numbers. You're not getting accurate information. And with all these bots they buy on social media, they're exposing themselves. The amount of AI responses I've seen, and they're getting more and more intelligent, these responses. But they're usually just the same thing over and over again. You notice one of the most common comments is, I grew up watching the original series when it originally aired, and I like all the new shows as well because they're amazing. I grew up with Star Trek, and my favourite Star Trek was the original series, and I think Strange New Worlds is better. It's like, no, I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Don't buy all those posts. It's ridiculous. Both as bad and corrosive as each other, yeah. Both viruses that have dismantled two beloved franchises. Well, I say as long as we still have physical media, as long as we still have the merchandise and the love, and keep watching original Star Trek, make them see that classic Star Trek is the way to go, then maybe, just maybe, they'll start to get the picture. We just got the news that Starfleet Academy actors are even coming to Vegas. Oh my God! Oh my word! Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh dear! Yeah, look, conventions. In terms of Star Trek, they've just been taken over by modern day politics, people's opinions on what's happening in the world. Conventions are supposed to be escapism, supposed to be a chance for you to meet your heroes, meet the actors behind the characters. UKDM, how sad is it that there's no DS9 remastered? I'd pay to buy the set. I'd buy it instantly. Robert Meyer Burnett put a tweet out recently that states that they did it with the next gen, and he was involved in that project. They did it with the next gen, and nobody bought them, and that's a shame. I'd say that's accurate as well, but that's a shame. But that was a fair few years ago, and I think, I can't remember if I replied this to him or not, but I think that there is such a resurgence in classic Star Trek, and the damage that New Trek has done so far, I think a lot of people will buy remastered, upscaled versions of these shows. I genuinely think that a lot of people will buy them because they're just so special. We can only hope that this era of Trek is just quietly ended and the IP is put to bed until someone actually likes Trek and bring it back. Yeah, but it's not just the guys writing it. It has to start from the top, right? It has to start from the top. You have to have a showrunner, a franchise runner, that's a true fan of Star Trek. You have to have a showrunner who understands Star Trek and who likes it and who doesn't want to use it as a platform for political messages. I'm calling 15 minutes on this stream, by the way. 15 minutes, and I should be buggering off to bed. If you haven't already hit that like button on the stream and you're enjoying the stream so far, please hit that like button. We've had well over 200 views on this stream, so yeah, I'd love to see that amount of likes. But yeah, if you haven't already hit that like button, hit that like button and hit that like button. Either way, hit the like button. Let's get past 30 likes, shall we? We can always watch the old stuff. And just Star Trek, my #1 sci-fi series, started in 1988. Someone could do it with AI and could get relatively decent result. Yeah, I mean, there are YouTube channels that have done it. There are companies out there that have done it, and it looks really impressive. And especially they've done it with a few episodes of Voyager as well. It looks stunning, absolutely stunning. Go back, clean up these original series, make them, crisper. Don't mess with them. Don't mess with CGI or anything like that. Just clean them up, remaster them, get them back out there, and I guarantee you, Paramount, people will buy it. You promote the shit out of it, and people will buy it. You take 10 million, one episode of this shit Trek Academy you've just farted out to the world. You spend that money on this project. Remastering DS9, remastering Voyager. You would barely have to do anything to Enterprise, to be fair. It looks gorgeous as it is. You could also do a review of Babylon 5 episodes, quality sci-fi. I have to be careful with things, because I have to know what I'm reviewing. I have watched 2, I believe, episodes of Babylon 5, the first and second, and I haven't gone back to it strictly because of time. I have that much to watch, and that much to get through. I don't have the time. But one last super chat before the end of the stream. Xell, you really shouldn't, You're incorrigible, but thank you so much for that, my friend. I really don't expect these super chats. They're always welcome, though, but they're not expected, guys. I don't do this for the money, although it's nice. I can, afford to buy nice microphones and stuff like that. Just to, to be fair, to be honest with you, I think my next purchase is a proper streaming PC, but that's a few months off, I think. But thank you so much, Xell, for that £10 super chat. Brilliant. But yeah, I need to thoroughly go through Babylon 5 so I can understand the world and review with context. Otherwise, I would just be doing more Strange New Worlds reviews where I'm not that familiar with the original series, so I don't get a lot of the member berries and references that they're putting in place. I was going to review Pluribus, but I didn't have the time. It's time. It was getting towards the end of this show. So the last 3 weeks, I have been absolutely dreading Thursdays. Absolutely dreading Thursdays because I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, for example. So I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I go to work. All right. So I'm up, dressed, lunch made, drinks made. I go to work. I then finish at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sometimes 3:30. I get home. Takes me about half hour to get home. I get home, have a cup of tea, and head straight upstairs to watch the episode. That takes me to about, give or take, about 5 o'clock, about 5:30 in the evening. Then I film the review, which can take anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour. That takes me there 6 o'clock, 6:30. Then I have to edit the video, which takes me about 2.5, 3 hours. It's a long ass day. And then I have work the next day. And I've had to work all week. It's a long process. And I want, when I enjoy it, I want to do it. I want to do it. I get home and I'm excited to do it. But when I'm reviewing something that is shockingly as bad as this, it's demoralizing. It really is demoralizing. You really feel it. And it's really hard to keep that up for 10 weeks. In some ways, I'm thankful they're not doing 24 to 26 episodes a season, because I'd be knackered. So it's time. Time is precious. We've also got kids of GCSE age. We're going through the exams and everything. So you got that, and you got the added pressures of life getting in the way. I also want to finish. I want to get that runabout made, to which a YouTube video will be coming along with it, because I'm filming every step, and I just have to decide how I'm going to do it. So yeah, I'm building a runabout, and it's going to be it's going to have full LED lighting. But it's like this massive big project that I'm doing, and I'm filming it all. I filmed 12 hours of Resident Evil, me playing the first playthrough. I haven't done jack shit with that yet, so I just haven't had the time. YouTube's a hobby for me. I don't know whether it'll ever be a profession. I don't think so, but you know, we'd all like it. But reviewing a show is a commitment. Right now, I'm committed to what? Starfleet Academy, Strange New Worlds, New Trek in general. You know, it's like those reviews that I do on Classic Trek. I have to write. They're scripted, so I have to write the script out for that, and I have to gather all the information. I have to watch the episode to get the stills, which is always a pleasure because they're great episodes. But it takes me. I'm not a great writer. I'm not a fantastic writer. I'm quite generic, and I can write a word salad really easily, and it ends up coming out like a word salad a lot of the time. But then I have to. So the images, certainly in the new videos, the images of AI upscaled. So I did use AI, but only to upscale the images to make them look like. To be fair, they look almost like oil paintings, and I think they look fantastic. I think the presentation on that is really nice. But it takes a while to write this stuff, you know. It'll take me a weekend to write a video. That's a weekend that I'm not working, and then I have to go to work and work all week like everybody else does, you know. It's really it is. I'm not tired of going woe is me or anything like that, but I have to pick my projects because time is limited. You need to go back to Babylon 5 mainly so you can hear Londo yell, and other reasons like good story and coherent dialogue. Yeah, Babylon 5 is on my list. I'm also trying to get the excuse me, I'm yawning. I'm trying to get the Expanse done as well. Again, just time. Absolute time. Preach, brother. I've even got the original DVDs, some VHSs and stuff. It's a great series. Yeah, I've got a couple of VHSs left. Unfortunately, I had to get rid of all my VHSs, all my Star Trek VHSs. I got rid of them about 13, 14 years ago. Because carting around, I mean, I had most of the seasons of Voyager, most of the seasons of DS9. I had all the box sets of Angel on video, Buffy as well, you know, and they came in two parts. So you had 3 VHSs for the first half of the season and 3 VHSs for the second half of the season. They were massive, and I had nowhere to store them, so they had to be gone. They had to be gone. Guna, you've got to watch For All Mankind because you've got to get on stream with me and watch Nerd. Xell, you should watch For All Mankind as well. For the love of God, people, watch For All Mankind if you haven't. It's a Star Trek writer who is Ronald D. Moore, for God's sake. And you can tell, because it's superb. Great show. Great show. But yes, what's coming after? So weekly videos won't be a thing for a while, maybe. I'm not sure. The channel, I'm not going into a hiatus or anything. It's just I've got to pick my next project. And I want my next project to be a big one. So it's probably going to be the runabout. But 10 forward will continue. I will keep going with the show. However, if I can't find anyone to come on and I can't think of a topic, it won't happen. But I will keep you all updated in the Discord, and I'll put a community post out on the stream, on the channel, if I'm not going to be doing 10 forward. I want to get to 100 episodes at least before taking another break. And I think it's possible. I want to get to episode 100, and then it'll be a party. We'll have a streaming party. We'll start watching For All Mankind soon. I just haven't had time recently. Got something in the works. Oh, bless you, mate. Like I say, you and I have got to have a catch-up chat. I'll try and find some time. Whatever you do to adjust your writing, I've always found it remarkable, and usually you've got a balance of concise and thoughtful and even profound. Oh, thank you very much, Tetrock. That's very kind of you. Happy to review Darmok. Yeah, that's going to be one of my classic reviews coming up, I think. I really appreciate that, Tetrock. That's really kind of you to say. At that level of writing, it does take me a while. It's why I could never write a book. I'd be useless. How Clayton does it, I don't know. If you're not familiar with Clayton Rumley's an author from Canada, Manitoba. I think it's Manitoba, Winnipeg, in Manitoba, Winnipeg, Canada. One of the most loveliest chaps you'll ever meet. He's got a great channel. It's actually just called Clayton Rumley. Link is in the description. And he has written a fantastic book called Holocene. I bought it off Amazon. Couldn't recommend it enough. I don't read that often, and I read that book in 2 sittings. It was brilliant. It was really good. It was really compelling as well. Really awesome. I'll be unavailable for catch up next week. Me and the missus are going to Clarkson's Farm for a few days. Yes, that sounds like a fantastic little venture. That does, mate. Yeah, Clarkson's Farm is class. It's a great experience to go. There's not much there. You don't really see much, but the food's great. And me and the missus thought about going to the pub, but we've got to pick our moment with that one. Go at the right time and find some time to go. But yeah, Clarkson's Farm is fantastic. I think I've still got the key ring on my keys, wherever my keys are. Yeah, Clarkson's Farm, great experience. Always worth going. Fantastic. And I can't wait for Clarkson's Farm 5 as well. That's going to be brilliant. Yeah, have a great time. Great time. And you will. It's also good to visit the surrounding areas. Me and the missus went to shot at dawn for forgetting the name of the place. Go to the surrounding areas. There's like RAF base there and everything, and I think it's Carterton. No, it might be Carterton. We're already planning to go to the pub, mate. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, we want to go, but it's just timing and everything. But yeah, you have a bloody good time next week, Xell. Have a bloody good time. So yeah, I mean, just a quick opinion, guys. Do you want to see more classic reviews of Star Trek? I know they don't do very well. They're not big takers, but I pick in favourite episodes and whatnot. And if so, what episodes would you want to see? Because I can work on. I can do one a week, I think. Just about. If I'm not doing a Thursday video, I could probably do one a week. Let me know what you think. And I won't, like I say, the weekly videos will probably stop for a little bit because I want to take a break, get my head around what I've just seen for 10 episodes. And yeah, I mean, I do enjoy doing those reviews. They're really good. The Inner Light one, I think, yeah, it took me a weekend to make, but it was good to make. And let me know if you want to see any more mashups, because I quite enjoyed doing those meme reaction mashups of Academy. There's certainly plenty more material to do, certainly in the Major Grin style. So if you wanted to see more of that, I'd be happy to put some stuff together, and that will be, that'll be fun to do. Other people to check out. Sorry, in my description, I'll just do some quick plugs before signing off here. Yelling at Gaseous Anomalies, Matthew Ross's podcast. Please check that out. The link is in the description. Reaver of Jill Sandwiches reviews as well. Check out Reaver's channel. Link is in the description. Gooner, who we've just had on, he has a game streaming channel. It's just a small channel where he has a little bit of fun playing games and people watch him play games. It is absolutely wonderful to sit there and watch, and we have a right laugh when people are on. And yeah, check out his channel. Again, link is in the description. I've had him on a few times. Critical Reviews, another fellow YouTuber who makes some really quite funny reviews over on his channel. Check him out. Link is in the description. Games Librarian. Link is in the description. I've got a really great community. Check out Xell's band page. Xell's band, Cold Harbor. Great music, great people, and yeah, Sci-Fi Shipyards as well on Facebook. I'm not sure about his other socials, but that's where I mainly catch his content. Xell says, I'd love to see more classic reviews or discussion. Episodes like Darmok, Schisms, Who Watches the Watchers are some that I love. Yeah, Darmok is on the list. Real Life from Voyager, that's on the list. I want to do some more light-hearted episodes as well. Something that more the happy episodes, because I've done serious episodes so far. The Inner Light's a serious one. In the Pale Moonlight, The Visitor, Duet. They're all quite heavy episodes. I'd also like to do some really funny ones. No, Xell, don't even go there. I know exactly what you're about to put. Don't bother. Just hit the delete button. I know exactly what you're going to say, and I'm not doing it. Thank you, DM. No, thank you, Guna. Thank you for joining me and for saving Xell and Watch Nerd sanity. It's always nice to fistful of data. Yeah, I could do that one, to be fair. Captain's Holiday. Probably not that one. Yeah, I could do a few. There's a few. I had a list originally of about 10 that I was going to do. It's full of data. Yeah, do some more. I want to do a mix, and to be fair, I want to do some Enterprise ones as well, because I want to show Enterprise some love. I wanted to show all the series some love, and maybe do an original series episode or two, because I've only watched the original series once when I was a kid. I haven't gone back to it. Move Along Home. Well, this is an example of a Star Trek show done wrong. Don't ever watch Move Along Home. But only break out the Move Along Home to get over the trauma of Starfleet Academy. Right, guys. So if you haven't already hit that like button, please hit that like button. Let's get up to 30 likes just before we go away here from streaming, and I settle down for the night. If you are new here and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, then please do. Show me your support, and I'll show you some more videos, some more content. Hit the bell notification icon to get up to date with all the new content that comes out on the channel. I am a smaller channel. I'm not a professional, but I do enjoy doing this. So if you enjoyed the journey along with me, then please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, share it far and wide, share it in groups. Get some, let's grow this little community I've got and make it, make it much larger. And yeah, much love to you all. I'm going to give some shout outs in the chat. Xell, thank you. Mauro, thank you. David Landrum, thank you. Guna, thank you. Matt Ross, thank you. See if there's any more here. Thank you for the super chats, guys. Completely unnecessary, but very much Appreciate it. Mastina, hello, and thank you for the comments. Jim Herman, Daniel Hall, thank you very much. Massive shout out to Tetrarch of Apathy and Plight Honest Hero, Angels Pierre, thank you so much. RRTNZ, always a pleasure to have you here. Planet X87, thank you so much. Just Another Watch Nerd, thank you. Mojo Jojo, thank you. The Rocco, thank you. Mephisto, thank you very much. Jamie Ives as well, thank you so much for coming. Othi, thank you. Taj, thank you. Let's see, Stephen Bromby, thank you. I'm trying to remember what you've said and what you haven't. Thank you so much for that super chat, Jamie and Stephen. Very much appreciated. Mephisto, thank you. And everybody else who has been a part of this stream and a part of this experience and this journey. Thank you to everybody. And happy birthday again to Stephen. I hope you had a fantastic time. Fun times to everybody. Yes, thank you very much. Before it's too late, God bless you and all, and good night. That is me, DM, signing off for the night. Until next time, you look after yourselves, you look after one another. I will see you in next week and the next 10 forward, where hopefully we'll talk about something just a little bit happier. Take care, all of you. Much love to you all. Much love to your families. Take care.